we are giving away a professor's research. All you have to do to enter is like, comment, and subscribe, and we will be picking a winner on Saturday. We'll see you then. Yo, what's going on? So, we are gonna go over the metagame, how it's advanced. So, more decks are seeing more representation now and actually getting new variants and getting a brand new, decks that we haven't been seeing in the format. And, I want to go over some of the decks that are succeeding here. So, you guys have a good list to prepare and play for whatever rank or the rest of this event season or future tournaments that you guys want to participate in. But we do have, the most played deck being Hydreigon Mega Absol right now, as well as second coming in Mega Blaziken and the cast form. And then we have Mega Lucario and Igglybuff still being overrepresented. But to be fair, there are better variants of Mega Lucario, and we're going to talk about that later. We have Zoroark and Mega Absol, and in 5th place, Magnezone and Magnezone EX. So there is a return of Mega Altaria, and again, that deck is still pretty nasty, and it's Altaria. You can't really run away from that deck being like insane, but let's go over the best decks right now. Alright, so I'm just gonna bring this one up as a honorable mention because, people have been getting lucky with this deck. If you're feeling like a gambling person and you feel the odds are with you to play 2 stage 2s, might as well, play this deck. But I only brought it up so you guys could take a look at what's going on with this deck. It's been working for the people that have been piloting. I personally wouldn't run this deck, but, again, I am covering what's going on in the metagame, and so far, this deck with the hiking trail has been, super successful. And, cast form is just, capitalizing with stadiums. Everybody's playing a stadium nowadays. So, cast form is here, like, thriving, even if you're not running, like, 2 stadiums. But, like, in this deck, running the extra Mega Goza, like, I don't know if it's even possible because you do need access to the Flame Patch, but I still think Greninja Froakie, take up essential spots where, Blaziken could just run over everything, on its own. I'd prefer that version, but, then again, you get tools like Greninja, Cyrus, combos that could pop off out of nowhere, which is actually pretty good. And, I'm not complaining about it, but I wouldn't play it. But, yeah, nah, this deck is here, and it's doing its thing. Next up, brand new deck that has, popped out of the woodworks is Meowscarada and Meowscarada EX. Of course, they're gonna pair it with Ogerpon because we have the Fragrant Forest, and everything here that you're gonna be searching for the forest is gonna be essential. Your Sprigartitos and Ogerpons. This deck is just overall has good synergy. Meowscarada being able to target anything on the field, and with its flower trick, and a Meowscarada just punishing your opponent with 130, or you could just lead on with 130 in the beginning, which makes everything a lot more easier. We have the Erickas for healing, Leaf Capes for healing as well. Lucky Ice Pop is just Lucky Ice Pop. If you're not playing that card point of time, I don't know what you're doing, but has great healing. All these sleep scams, burn, poison going around, Ogerpon is going to mitigate that. And the fact that you get to use Ogerpon as an attacker in certain situations is beneficial as well. Next up, we have a new tech here, Shaman Hitmontop. So, Hitmontop with Lucario, it has been popping off here. But, like, the new tech is the Shaman. The fact that everything has 1 less retreat cost. People have been playing X-Speed, right? But Shaman could essentially just have that -1 retreat cost, like the Bombardier. It's so good just to have out here because like Lucario could definitely take advantage of it, but like I mean Mega Lucario could take advantage of it, but the only downside about this version, we are sacrificing Mega Lucario EX to 1, but you know, in this situation you do have double copycats and of course, you know, your researches, and then Poncho is definitely here because, you know, Hitmontop is being popularized in this build. So, you know, it's always good to have that and protect with the Greninjas. Or even in a normal Blaziken, you could see, you know, Heatmore popping up. So, overall, this deck did well in today's Pocket Match tournament. So, you know, if it's working with 1-1 line of Lucario, you know, it's worth to give it a shot. Next deck I want to talk about is the Formosa Sceptile. So, Formosa Ultra Beast, you know, it's always hitting the bench as well. So, you know, late game, you know, putting pressure on your opponent's Mega Pokemon is key here. And then you could take advantage with Cyrus and then just, you know, start hitting them fast with 130. Again, they're opting in with the Ogerpon. Again, this listed fairly well in today's tournament. And just, you know, Ogerpon is, I feel, a hit or miss. Because there'll be some matches where it'll be dead and it's just there. But like in the matches where it actually does matter, it pops off. And, you know, in the tournament setting, you just don't know what you're gonna run into. Well, to be fair, if we check the meta report, like in the beginning, the metagame, just in general, there are a lot of Igglybuff variants running around. Not even to mention Sceptile with, you know, the poison ability, and then you got the burns from Castform. So, you know, Ogerpon is definitely worth a slot in most decks, and especially that you could take advantage of the Fragrant Forest, you know, to search for it as well. It's just so good. Formosa definitely being one of the best leads for Mega Sceptile. It's just like, you know, applies a lot of pressure and it has 70 HP, and you can make this thing live forever with the Leaf Cape extending its health. So it's just an amazing combo. They're playing one May, one Copycat, you know, May for the consistency, because you could take advantage of the Fragrant Forest and just keep getting your basics and then activate May to get, you know, the cards that you want. Or, you know, I am a fan of Copycat being at 2. Copycat is so superior in my in my eyes, but you know, not to knock on May. May is definitely also a very strong contender, but overall, that's what I think about the deck, and the deck is super strong. Next up, I want to bring this deck up because it actually won a tournament. Buzzwole is definitely making its way back up here. They are playing the one Buzzwole EX and one regular Buzzwole, which, you know, that Buzzwole is easy to meet its other conditions, so you could get the plus 40. And overall, it's really strong. Kartana, Formosa, you got Lusamine, you know, boosting your energy. You got Celesteela, you can move around your Pokemon. Fragrant Forest literally searches your whole deck. You don't have to use the Pokeballs or anything like that. So, you know, it gives you more utility here. And overall, like, the deck looks fun, and I feel like this Buzzwole deck looks fundamentally strong, and would recommend you guys take a look at it. Another deck that we have here is Altaria. Altaria is definitely seeing a rebound with the Gourgeist. Gourgeist has always been strong. I have always been a Gourgeist fan when it came out. It's 70 damage, and it puts everything like in a KO range for Mega Altarias, 130, and then you could push for the 140. Here in this variant, you are seeing double Plaza and one training arena, because like the Plaza, you want to use it to get the Gourgeist out of the way, so you, or you know, even the Mega Altaria, you know, if you don't want to waste an energy, or Meloetta too, because Meloetta being up there could just be like a free point for your opponent, and you don't want to give away free points, but like, you know, it searches you a basic Pokemon, well, not even a basic Psychic, it searches you a Psychic Pokemon all the time, and overall, I like the cook. I like how Mega Altaria is definitely evolving in the metagame. Has Sabrina, has Cyrus, has Pokemon Center Lady to deal with all the status elements, and then Copycat Licia. The deck looks like it's pretty solid, and I myself might be playing this for rank. Next up, we have the Magnezone EX and Magnezone Mirror Shot. So, you know, I'm not gonna really talk too much about this deck. It's very solid, it's very good. It's the same list from last week's, and overall, it performs really strong. And, you know, there's not much to say. It's, if you want old, reliable, something consistent that works, this is the deck that you want to be playing. Next up, we have the other versions of Zoroark EX and Mega Absol. So, you know, the Bombardier, just this deck makes this deck so much better for the retreat cost, for the dark Pokemon, and, you know, it's just amazing. The fact that, you know, Bombardier has 1 energy for 30, can take care of all those baby Pokemon, while Darkrai is pinging everything, have Mega Absol as a last attacker. For 80, rip a card, rip that Cyrus that they need in the late game. And then you got Zoroark just doing free 90 as early as turn 2 if you get all the pieces. This deck is awesome. It's going to be one of the best, you know, decks to climb the ladder with. And I would recommend you guys play this or build it, get your practice now before the ladder starts. Next up, this is the version of Blaziken I would mess with, because this is just strong. You know, Castform and Blaziken. Blaziken just runs over everything, while Castform is just burning everything. Like, this deck is just amazing overall. Hiking Trail and Mesagoza, you just throw out everything on the board once you can, and then you just pop off. I like the deck. It's fast, it's strong, and overall one of the best, and Blaziken's the GOAT. Next up, we have Hydreigon, the most represented deck in the format. We got Hydreigon Mega Absol and the Bombardier. Yes, this is what the variants has evolved into. But, you know, overall, it's just a Hydreigon deck with a Bombardier. No more Jellyfish, no more leaping over Absol. Maybe we'll see that later on. But, like, you know, the Rocky Helmets are being played most definitely. And that's pretty much it. The deck is pretty straightforward. You get your Unga Bunga energy and then start doing 130 damage. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Mega Manectric, which is an amazing deck. This made the greatest rebound of all time. Just Oricorio, Manectric, and then the training arenas. This deck is still very solid, and, you know, you have the Electrike. I would recommend playing the other Electrike so you could do, like, more damage instead of praying to flip. Yeah, you take 10 more damage, but, you know, overall, you could get rid of the Swablues as fast as possible. But in this variant, it definitely made the finals, and overall, one of the best versions of Manectric. Definitely, you could switch around some cards to, you know, benefit you in the metagame, but overall, I'd say Mega Manectric is going to be one of the best decks not to sleep on, and one of the newer decks that, you know, you could definitely see it influencing the meta. And that's going to do it all for this video. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Peace.